Hi, welcome to Middle of Friday, episode 80, November 9th, 2018. Leveraging Azure SendGrid for notifications. So in this episode, I will talk about Azure SendGrid service, which is a managed service available on the Azure platform. So as you know, Logic App has many connectors, so you can categorize them in various ways. So you can say, okay, you get protocols, HTTP, file, etc. Line of business systems, SQL, SAP, Oracle, some of them are accessible, leveraging, for instance, the on-premise data gateway or other way of networking. You got Azure, so there's many Azure services, and there's as many connectors too. You have Customers DB, storage, service bus, etc. You can leverage the connectors towards the Microsoft Cloud, so it could be Outlook, Skype for Business, the various Dynamics 365 offerings. You can connect to those. You got marketing, WordPress, Eventbrite, social media, Twitter, Yammer, YouTube. So you've seen in the past some episodes on Middle of Friday leveraging social media connectors. You have communication and collaboration, so you Twilio, Chatter, and also the featured SendGrid capability. And there's many more connectors, so you can further categorize them as well. Just as an example of looking at connectors, and one of them is SendGrid, which we're going to talk about in this episode. So SendGrid is a cloud-based email service that's available, so you can do transactional email delivery, it scales, it's real-time analytics, etc. So it's kind of a service, and it's available through the Azure Marketplace. It's got APIs which you can leverage, so you can also, through .NET client, leverage SendGrid by talking to the APIs. And there's also a connector available in Logic Apps where you can leverage SendGrid as well. And some of the use cases are automatically sending receipts or purchase confirmation. So once you order something online, then you can leverage the service to straight away send out a confirmation. You can do distribution lists. With all these sending of emails, you can also have some metrics, etc. So I'll show you the EventGrid service itself. So there's some typical use cases where you can use the EventGrid, SendGrid service. So you can find it in the marketplace. So SendGrid, email delivery capability. And you can create an instance by filling in some of the details, including username, password, resource group. You collect the SKU, basically pricing tier, so there's silver, bronze, and free. Then you need to complete some of the contact information and apply to some of the legal terms. Just review the legal terms and say, okay, I'm okay with that. And the important thing when you want to leverage the SendGrid within your Logic app is that you have to have these API keys. Well, you even need to get those keys if you want to approach SendGrid through its APIs, through, let's say, a .NET client. So you create the API key, and it will show you the API key once. So similar when you create a service principal, for instance. So you straight away have to copy it, and this is what you need to approach those APIs. And then you can leverage the SendGrid connector. So you can create some of the templates. I created a funny one here, which I'll show you in the demo as well. But you can create templates, transactional ones that you can send out automatically, or some of the marketing campaigning. And so you can create those templates using an editor capability within SendGrid. And basically then you can export that HTML and then insert it into the connector itself. You can say, okay, I want to an HTML marked up email, and you can set that within the connector itself. Some of the other capabilities as well, or features. Okay, let's look at a demo. So I've done this demo before in another Middle of Friday episode, but I kind of want to leverage this same sample again, but then using SendGrid capability within the Logic app. So again, it's about having sensors in your house, so in the living room or in the bathroom, etc. And all these devices have been registered for the IoT hub. All its data is being streamed through event groups into functions, or at least a function that will store that data. So it's kind of the state of your rooms within your house. And if there's changes, so let's say the room temperature increases, then another function will be triggered, because this is based on the change feed scenario within Cosmos DB. That data is being evaluated, and let's say if the temperature is above a certain set threshold, then it will send out a message to a message queue, which subsequently has this logic app listening to it, which will then get that information. That information will be used to fill up a template and will send out an email, let's say to your phone or to another type of device, which also enables you to maybe send out a control message again through the IoT hub to your device saying, okay, hey, you have to turn on the thermostat because it's getting too cold, or you maybe have to enable your air conditioning system. Okay, so we're now in Azure, and here's the collection of documents. Basically stating, okay, bedroom, living room, hallway, bathroom. So these are all the rooms, let's say, in a house. So let's increase that temperature to 29. Let's say it's getting really hot. Okay, this will create a kind of a change which sets off that function, which subsequently will evaluate if the temperature is too high. Now, that message ultimately will end up in a logic app. So let's see if it's already triggered. It has been triggered. And it's pretty basic. So this is the incoming message. So I'll parse it in the end. And as you can see here, living room 29.5 degrees, which subsequently sets off the other action saying temperature, living room is too hot. It will use this email body, which is HTML markup, and it will result. Let's go. Let's refresh this one. See if I got an email. Not yet. It might take a bit of a time. Let's refresh it again. Here it is. Temperature in the room, living room is too hot. Time to hit the bathtub. And here, it's basically want to show you that there's a marker possible. Saying, okay, hey, let's hit the bathtub. It's kind of a funny way, but it's like, this is how you can send an email, or at least, make up to whatever business reason there is, or what kind of type of email you want to send out. This is the way you could do it. Or at least you do this through the SendGrid capability. So this is the SendGrid instance. You can access properties, configuration, etc. And you can also click manage here, and then you will come into the service itself. So this is how you can manage it. So I've in the past sent out a few emails already. A few of them have been delivered, some have been opened, so I've been testing around with it. So you have access to some of the templates. So I created a transactional one. Let's see if I can open it. And this is the capability where you can design or create some of the templates. So sometimes I get this in my browser, but this is like, as you can see, you can do some drag and dropping, etc., and create an email template, and then subsequently later on you can export that, as you can see, HTML, which you then can use within your connector. So this is just the event-grid service, which you could leverage, and the service itself subsequently you can approach through, for instance, a logic app adapter. You can also approach this service or its APIs through functions or through a .NET client. So this was a demo which I used before in other episodes and also in this episode. now just showing instead of using an email to send out to a device or to a dashboard, I'm just using, in this case, SendGrid. So the key takeaways of using SendGrid service itself is that it's a managed service, so it's pay as you go. As you saw, there's nothing to manage, any infrastructure type of thing. Out of the box, you get the availability and scalability depending a little bit about the tier you choose, and it's all managed for you. You can leverage the SendGrid functionality such as template, etc. So you can really leverage the service and its features. And there's an easy integration with Logic Apps, which I showed you, but also with functions and .NET clients. There are many examples, so if you want to explore leveraging this service further, then you could see, or there's some resources or samples I've listed here. So how to use it with a Logic app, and you can find it on the Microsoft Doc. How you can use it with Azure Functions, how to send email using Azure Functions. There's some C# code samples available too. Also through the SendGrid documentation. So yeah, definitely explore this if you want to further dive into this service. So again, I'd like to thank you for watching this episode around SendGrid and the integration with it. I'd like to thank BizTalk360 for being a great host, and I'll leave you with the music credits.
You're off to set the record straight. Hurling down the road. Your doubt is healing